From WFRV TV Local 5, Green Bay, Fox Cities, and the Lakeshore, this is Newsmaker Sunday.
Good morning and welcome to Newsmaker Sunday. I'm Tom Zalaski. In his recent State of the State address, Governor Tony Evers declared 2023 the year of mental health, and the Boys and Girls Clubs of Wisconsin are uniquely positioned to help young people maintain and reclaim positive mental health. And on that score, joining us this morning are Greg Lemke-Rochon, the Chief Executive Officer at the Boys and Girls Club of the Fox Valley, and Carlin Andrew of the club's Senior Director of Counseling and Training. Good morning to both of you. Thanks so much for being here. Both of you have pretty impressive titles. Would you please give us an idea of what it is that each of you do? Karen, can I start with you?
Sure. I have the opportunity to support young people in our youth and family counseling services, so providing that mental health support to youth and families who are having a difficult time or looking to work on their goals related to mental health, and supporting young people in our Center for Grieving Children, so peer support model for grief, and then helping to build up our staff team and understanding the ways that we can be really effective in the way that we build up professional development to be really effective in our work.
Greg, you've got the big title, Executive Officer. What do you do?
So yeah, I serve as the Chief Executive Officer for the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Fox Valley. We cover Appleton, Menasha, the Fox Cities, parts of northern Winnebago County, Calumet County, Manitowoc County. We have a fairly large geographic scope. I also, at the same time, am serving as the president of the Wisconsin Alliance of Boys and Girls Clubs, so have a statewide role as well at the current moment.
In your view, for both of you, what's the mission of the Boys and Girls Club, if you had to say what one was?
Our mission is to inspire and enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to realize their full potential as productive, responsible, and caring citizens.
Now, together, you've got more than 50 years of experience here in this business.
To be honest, I have more, as everybody could probably tell.
Yeah, combined, we're trying to keep it gentle here.
Yeah, fair enough.
Let us into that world. What is it like working with these kids? I mean, is there a difference with the way we deal with kids today as opposed to what it was like when you first got into your positions?
I guess I'll start on that one. Our organization, Boys and Girls Clubs of the Fox Valley, started its operations in 1998. This is, in fact, our 25th year this year. And so I've had the opportunity, I've been there since the beginning, I've had the opportunity to be a part of a lot of generations of young people coming through our doors and participating in our programs and services. And I would say, yes, absolutely, there are differences. There are very notable differences. Many years ago, of course, we didn't have cell phones in everybody's hands, and we didn't have all the screen time. We also didn't have the constant influx of data and information and stories and everything being so immediate. So there's a lot of differences. And of course, more recently, I think this current generation or cohort of young people that we're serving are also presenting in very different ways because of what they've been through in the last several years. And that is very different than anything we've seen before.
As we mentioned at the top of the show, the governor declared 2023 the year of mental health. He asked the state legislature to approve $270 million in the Get Kids Ahead program. He also wanted further funding for mental health. If that gets approved, what does that mean to you? What does it do for you?
Go ahead.
It means a lot for us at Boys and Girls Clubs because a lot of ways that a lot of young people call the Boys and Girls Club home. And it's where they maybe are spending time before school, where they're spending time after school, where they're spending a good deal of their summer. And in the kind of whole array of ways that we can show up and support young people in their mental health, there's an important place for treatment and clinical mental health. And there's an important way to ensure that the places that young people spend time, like Boys and Girls Clubs, that they can also get their needs met in those spaces, to ensure really smooth access to services and to ensure a much more uniquely trained and much more effectively trained staff, creating all sorts of targeted supports, much more intensive interventions in these places where youth already frequent. So it will allow us to do things like create more sensory rooms, to create improved ratios of staff counts to ensure that we're not just serving young people in cohorts of large groups, but to create opportunity for a lot more customization and individual goal support with those kind of lower ratios.
And Greg, where do you stand on funding right now? How are you doing?
Well, there's never enough.
Right.
I mean, to be really honest, there's never enough. And one of the things that's really interesting about Wisconsin, from the Boys and Girls Club perspective, is Wisconsin is actually the #1 state in the country in terms of the number per capita of young people engaged in Boys and Girls Club programs and services. We're #1. We're the raw count, just how many kids, period, we're 4th in the country behind California, Texas, and Florida. We have great organizations in our state. What's also interesting, though, is the level of state support that, in terms of real dollars that come into our organizations, is in the lower, I believe it's in the lower quarter across the nation in terms of investment in our work. So we have really strong organizations, and we're inviting the state to be a fuller partner in the work that we do, with north of 100,000 kids a year right now.
Wow. We are back with much more with the Boys and Girls Club after this, so please stay with us.